Hello everyone, welcome back to the Dark Vault. Tonight, we're opening a file that has puzzled investigators, believers, and skeptics for nearly 3 decades. Most ghost stories begin with an old castle, a forgotten cemetery, or a crumbling mansion. But this story is different. It takes us to an ordinary farmhouse in the quiet countryside of North Wales, where a family claimed they experienced events so strange that even experienced investigators struggled to explain them. What started as reports of a religious apparition soon evolved into something far more unsettling: mysterious messages appearing on walls, unexplained markings on stones, strange activity inside the home, and sightings of a monk-like figure that became known as Brother Doli. Unlike many paranormal stories that survive only through local legends, this case was documented, photographed, investigated, and published in academic research. Yet despite years of study, no one has been able to provide a definitive answer. Was it a genuine haunting? An elaborate hoax? A combination of both? Tonight, we're heading to Pennyford Farm in North Wales to uncover one of Britain's most unusual modern paranormal mysteries. So grab your favorite drink, settle in, and if you enjoy exploring mysteries, hauntings, and unexplained cases from around the world, make sure you're subscribed to the Dark Vault. Now, let's open the vault. Our story begins in 1997 near the town of Mold in North Wales. At a property known as Pennyford Farm, an event allegedly occurred that would change the lives of the family living there forever. According to reports, 2 Irish visitors claimed they witnessed an apparition of the Virgin Mary in a nearby field. One of the visitors reportedly believed she had experienced a healing after the encounter. News spread quickly. Visitors began arriving at the farm. Some came seeking answers. Others came hoping for a miracle. But what happened next would take the story in a very different direction. The strange occurrences soon moved from the fields into the farmhouse itself. At first, the reports were subtle. Unusual noises, strange smells, sudden drops in temperature, pools of water appearing where no water should have been, electrical disturbances, objects disappearing only to reappear later. Individually, none of these events seemed extraordinary. Together, however, they formed a pattern that deeply unsettled the family. Then came something far stranger. Beginning around 1998, mysterious Welsh words and religious phrases reportedly began appearing throughout the property. The words were found on stones, on walls, on pieces of wood. Some appeared carved, others appeared as stains. Many carried religious themes. Crosses and symbols allegedly appeared without explanation. The family insisted they had not created them. Investigators later documented dozens of these markings. But the mystery did not stop there. According to the reports, Welsh religious words also began appearing in computer files. Some allegedly appeared in printed documents. Others reportedly showed up in emails connected to the household. For many researchers, this became one of the most unusual claims of the entire case. Traditional hauntings might involve noises or apparitions. Electronic messages, that was something very different. Then came the figure that would give the case its name. Several members of the family reported seeing what appeared to be a monk. Descriptions varied, but the figure was often described as small in stature and dressed in robes. Sometimes it appeared only briefly. Sometimes it vanished almost instantly. The family eventually gave the figure a name: Brother Doli. According to later accounts, the name itself reportedly appeared in a mysterious written message discovered inside the home. One of the children claimed to see the monk. Other family members reported similar sightings. Whether they were witnessing the same thing or interpreting events through shared expectations remains one of the great unanswered questions of the case. As reports increased, investigators became interested. Among them was Michael Daniels, a psychologist and parapsychologist who would spend years documenting the phenomena. Unlike sensational television ghost hunters, Daniels approached the case with caution. He photographed evidence. He catalogued markings. He examined photographs. He reviewed witness statements. He even attempted to capture activity using surveillance equipment. One object became particularly famous. A stone found on the property appeared to contain a stain resembling a monk-like figure. Religious markings and carved words were also present. The family became convinced the stone was connected to the entity they called Brother Doli. Today, it remains one of the most recognizable pieces of evidence from the case. Investigators photographed it extensively. Believers saw a supernatural message. Skeptics saw a natural stain combined with human interpretation. The debate continues to this day. The photographs from the investigation created even more controversy. Some images appeared to show shadowy forms. Others seemed to contain monk-like shapes. Supporters pointed to them as visual evidence. Critics argued they were examples of pareidolia, the human tendency to see meaningful patterns in random shapes. It's the same phenomenon that causes people to see faces in clouds or figures in shadows. Neither side could fully convince the other, and so the mystery deepened. As the years passed, more reports accumulated. Scratches appearing on skin, feelings of being touched, unexplained sounds, objects apparently moving. Each new claim added another layer to the story. Yet despite years of investigation, one major problem remained. Much of the evidence depended on the testimony of the family themselves. Independent witnesses were limited. Many events occurred when no outside observer was present. For skeptics, this was a serious weakness. Could some of the phenomena have been fabricated? Could the markings have been carved by human hands? Could expectations and belief have influenced what witnesses thought they were seeing? Even Daniels considered these possibilities. In fact, one of the most remarkable aspects of his investigation was his honesty. Rather than declaring the case solved, he acknowledged the limitations. He concluded that some aspects of the case were genuinely strange, but he also admitted that the evidence did not allow a definitive answer. The case could represent genuine paranormal phenomena. It could be an elaborate hoax, or it could be a mixture of authentic experiences and human fabrication. That conclusion frustrated both believers and skeptics. Believers wanted confirmation. Skeptics wanted dismissal. Instead, they got uncertainty. Years later, the story would attract renewed attention through documentaries and television investigations. A new generation discovered the mystery. And once again, the same questions emerged. What really happened at Pennyford Farm? Why did religious words allegedly appear throughout the property? Who or what was Brother Doli? And if it was all a hoax, how was it maintained for so many years? Nearly 3 decades later, nobody has produced a universally accepted explanation. The farmhouse remains one of the most unusual cases in modern British paranormal history. Not because the evidence proves the supernatural, but because the evidence refuses to fit neatly into any single explanation. Maybe Brother Doli was a spirit. Maybe it was a product of belief and expectation. Or maybe the truth lies somewhere between those two extremes. And that's what makes this case so fascinating. Because sometimes the most disturbing mysteries aren't the ones we can explain. They're the ones that leave us with just enough evidence to wonder, and not enough to know. What do you think happened at Pennyford Farm? Was Brother Doli a genuine paranormal entity, an elaborate hoax, or something else entirely? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed tonight's journey into the unknown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us again as we open another mystery inside the Dark Vault. Until next time, keep questioning, keep searching, and remember, some vaults are locked for a reason.